Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Asenet Stephanie, and today we're going to be speaking about what I am reading. Okay, so there's several things that I'm reading, okay? A lot of them are about the same thing. They all cover the exact same topic, the Spanish Civil War. Well, besides one book. One book is about theory. So, I mean, something has to be different. I'm also reading a lot of articles, and this all has to do about my PhD. So all the books that you'll be hearing about today are part of pretty much my pre-research for my PhD. Okay, I'll be studying starting September at the University of Birmingham. I'll be doing this distance learning, so I'll be doing it from home. It's a lot cheaper, and this girl can't afford to move to the UK right now. So maybe another day. It's my dream to move there, but that's a whole other video that I can make on that. So let's get started. Book number 1, Memory and Amnesia. Okay, this book is by Paloma Aguilar, and seriously, one of the best books I've read. It's full of sticky notes already. I have a lot of these things, but so far, if you take a look at it, hold on, not those pages, I haven't started yet. There we go. It's full of colors. Why? Because I haven't finished the book. That's why the front of it is only extra highlighted. So don't mind me. I haven't finished reading it. I'm reading a lot about the commemoration of the Valley of the Fallen, which is one of the areas that I'm going to be focusing on during my PhD. So there you go. So that's book number 1. Book number 2, Memoria Histórica e Identidad Cultural by Jose Colmeiros. Okay, he actually teaches at the University of New Zealand right now. No, University of Auckland in New Zealand. And I actually, for a second, wanted to work with him, but then New Zealand was really far from me, even though my best friend lives in New Zealand, so that kind of should have been an okay. But let's just say this book is amazing. So far, I'm only, like I said, I've been taking like one chapter at a time in each book for some reason and not reading the whole book in one sitting. It just makes it easier for me to go as I feel instead of depending on just reading one book. I can read just once, I can't read this whole book in one sitting. I have to go step by step. So right now, I'm reading a lot about theory and a lot about memory and what collective memory actually means. So there's a lot of naming Pierre Nora. They're talking about Foucault at some point, Holbach's, and a lot of other writers and theories that I really need to start focusing on, because that's going to be the base of my whole research. So this is a great book. So if you can read it and you're interested in the Spanish Civil War and what memory is all about, read this after you read my dissertation in 3 years. Oh, that was book number 2. Book number 3. It's actually called Memory Battles of the Spanish Civil War. And it goes through how historians and journalists and photographers and filmmakers deal with the Spanish Civil War and the commemoration of it. It's actually very good. I've read a couple chapters on it. Like I said, again, I'm not very into reading one whole book at a time. I like to go back and forward between books and seeing the differences. So far, I've only read 2 chapters in this one, so I have to go back into it. But I'm very into this book right now, so this one's gonna have to wait. All right, that was book number 3. All right, book number 4, Listening to History. This is a book that I came about by reading one of the other books that we had just talked about. I believe it was, I think it was Memory and Amnesia that I found it in, if I'm correct. It's either Memory and Amnesia or Memory Battles. One of the two. That's where I got this book from. And it's by Trevor Loomis. And like I said, I've only read a couple chapters. Actually, I've only read the introduction. Let's be for reals. I'm a little bit behind and I need to work on it. So it's a lot about oral history and pretty much how to go about with oral history and interviews and all that stuff, which I'm gonna have to do a lot about. So I thought it was prudent to buy this book. It was only like $3, so I didn't have any problems buying it. And it goes through like creating the interviews and the informant, the value, the definition of oral history, memory theory and purpose, assessing the interviews, all of that stuff, like how to go about pretty much interviewing someone. So it's very interesting so far. I've only read the introduction and it was interesting. So I can't wait to read the rest of it. I'm doing a schedule on what I'm reading each day. Hopefully I'll stick to it, but I am a busy woman. I have church. I have a job full time, 8 to 4. And it's very, 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 very hard for me to like put myself and read all these things, but I know I'm gonna have to make time for it because my PhD is gonna be my priority after God, of course. So that was book number 5. All right, now on to the books which I have read part of, but I haven't fully finished them. The next book is book number 6. Book number 6 is called Franco Script, and it has to do a lot about memory and culture since the 1936. There is a full chapter about commemoration of Franco in Spain, and mainly about the value of the following, which, like I said, it's one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on. The other things I'm focusing on are the Tortosa, the Battle of Ebro Monument in Tortosa, and the street naming in Madrid. So those are things that I'll be focusing on. There's going to be more things that I'm going to be focusing on, but I'm not going to talk about it for now because I haven't figured it out yet. So anyways, Franco Script, good book too. It's by Jeremy Treglone, sorry. Now, these are the next book. Okay. Next book I am going to be reading and actually going through a lot. I read parts of it. I've done annotations, but it's been a while. It's Spanish Cultural Studies, an introduction by Ellen Graham and Joe Labani. I'm so sorry. I keep messing names. But a lot of people have contributed to this book and it really makes a lot of sense. It goes, like I said, by little chapters. And I've already done like a lot of notes on it. But I have to go back and review everything because I think it's going to make a lot of sense. And I'm starting to do like full-on annotations of the books that I'm reading. Just so that once I finish reading them, I'm doing my lit review, sorry. I'll be able to just go ahead and type because I've already read them, you know. And these next, okay, the next 3 books are actually some that I've never touched. I bought them, I wanted to start reading them, but I've been trying to finish those other ones that I have back there. So this book, it's one of the 3 that I haven't read yet, but I will start getting on it. It's called 20th Century Spain, Politics and Society in Spain from 1898 to 1998, when Spain loses its last territories in the Caribbean and the Philippines, and then up all the way to recent, not so recent time, because it's been like a long time, like almost 20 years. Oh my God, it makes me feel old. Yeah, 20 years since this book came out. So yeah. It should be a good book to get a background on. I've seen the reviews that it's gotten, so they're good. And I should be getting a good background on this through this book. So this is going to be a fun one. Next book that I haven't written and I'm going to start reading is Blood of Spain, The Oral History of the Spanish Civil War by Ronald Fraser. It's this book. It is a little older. It's from 1986. But I feel like I'm going to get a lot from it because it goes into depth about the whole war. And it goes very like, it goes like a story. So it goes through battles. It goes through different things, people, and all that stuff. So that I'm excited to read. But like I said, I've had a lot of other things that I'm reading. So this hasn't been my priority right now. It will be though, come August. Just wait for it. I'm going to start reading and not be reading that. Then the next book is Ghosts of Spain. This is by Giles Tremlett. And it travels through Spain and its silent past, it says. I haven't read anything from it, but I did see it. I saw some good reviews about it, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. He is a Guardian's Madrid correspondent, and he's lived in Spain for like about 20 years. So it should have some sort of good something. So we'll see how it goes. Was written in 2006, so not really sure why I bought it, but I just thought it was a good idea to buy it, so I'm gonna give it a chance and read it. It talks a lot, from what I read in the back, about mass graves and commemoration, so that's very important for my research. So I thought that why not buy it and take a look at it. It was only $3, like I said, on the other one, and I can't wait to get through it. It's a pretty thick book, but it's about 400 pages. Yeah, it's like 4 pages off of 400. So this is one that I'll be reading come September, maybe. The main books that I'll be reading are going to be Franco Script, Listening to History, Memory Battles, Memoria Histórica, and Memoria and Amnesia. This is going to be my main one right now. And Memoria Histórica. I also have a lot of articles that I'm reading, like a lot of them. One little thing that I'm reading and overreading has been my own proposal. I just want to make sure I'm like 100% valid on every single thing I'm saying, and that I'm not going out into la la land trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing. One article that I'll be reading once I finish the next one that I have that I'll be showing you is At the Foot of the Grave. Okay, and this is let's see, there we go. At the Foot of the Grave, Challenging Collective Memory of Violence in Post-Franco Spain by Nicole Iturriaga. So that's one article that I'll be reading. The next article is one that I started and I pretty much like so far. I've only read a good maybe 6-7 pages of the 40-something. Yeah, I've read 6 pages of it. It's called Collective Memory and National Identity in the Spanish Democracy by Paloma Aguilar and Karsten Hum. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. I need to figure out how to spell these things. But this one. There you go. So far, extremely interesting, and I can't wait to finish it because it sounds like a lot of fun. These things actually make me really excited. I love reading about these things. So the next one I am reading es La construcción de la memoria y el olvido de España en la España democrática by Francisco Sevillano Calero. Like I said, I have to go back into these because I read them a while back. And I seem to be forgetting what they're about. But I have a lot of notes on them. I read this book, this whole thing, like front to back. So I really need to get back into it. The other one I'm reading is The Politics of History and Memory in Democratic Spain by Caroline Boyd. So that's one. Another one is El Recuerdo de la Guerra Civil Española durante la Transición by Gonzalo Pasamar. So the memory of the Spanish Civil War during the transition is called. So that's another one I'm reading. I'm reading a lot of things and not getting much done. So I actually had already printed a copy of my proposal, so now I have 2 copies. So fun. Yeah, killing the earth. I'm sorry, earth. I have another article by Francisco Colom Gonzalez called A Past That Does Not Die Out, Coping with the Memory of the Spanish Civil War. And I have them all, you're going to see, I have them all tagged and tabbed because it's very important to stay organized when you're reading these things. And since I like to hop from one article to another, it just makes it harder. So I'm reading Memory, Transitional Justice, and Recession in Contemporary Spain by Lorraine Ryan. I am also reading Collective Memory of the Spanish Civil War, The Case of Political Amnesty in the Spanish Transition to Democracy by Paloma Aguilar. Woo! Collective Memory and Writing of History in the Case of the Spanish Civil War. History and Memory, A New Social Dimension by Julian Casanova. And the role of the archives in the memory of this recovery of historical memory in Spain, our regional study case. So that one's going to be very exciting, actually, I feel, because it's a case study. And I very much like case studies. So that shall be a fun one to read. I already have this one, so I have 2 copies of this. I seem to be making a lot of copies of the same thing. I need to make a list of all my stuff. So this is my little binder. So it's a lot of things I have to read. It's a lot of things that I have to organize. And as you can tell, my room is not the most organized place on earth. But right now, what I need to do is get my life together and start reading. I only have about 90 days left until the start of my PhD. And I feel like I need to get everything put in one place and start writing. And not like writing my dissertation, but like writing my lit review. I need to have read a whole book and write what it's about. And then, okay, move on to the next book. However, I can't work that way. I don't know why. Anyways, thank you for listening to me rant about the books and articles I am reading. I hope you enjoy this. I know it's not very entertaining if you don't like the Spanish Civil War, but I am very passionate about this. I promise you I am. So, like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you want my next video to be? And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!